I'm here with Jed Davis, the owner of the Farmhouse Tap Grill here in Burlington. Thanks for having us, Jed.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you for joining us.
Certainly. Heard lots about this place. A very central location right here on Bank Street, right next to church. That I'm sure drives in your business as well.
Yeah, we found the property about 2 years ago. We opened in the spring of 2010. The location before us, it was a McDonald's that closed and then was vacant for a while, and we found it and turned it into the Farmhouse Tap Grill.
Yeah, it definitely looks nothing like a McDonald's anymore. You know how they all have that cookie cutter shape. You guys really stand out here. How long did it take you to remodel this whole place?
We remodeled for about 4 months, opening in May of 2010.
All right. And how has business been since then?
It's been great. I think it's really become a hub in the community. We've been very busy, lunch, dinner, late night. I think the farmhouse has quickly grown some deep roots in Burlington.
Oh, certainly. I noticed you guys have been a big part of, recent upcoming events like Eat Local Vermont. Would you like to speak about your participation in that?
Well, we participate in a lot of those events. Any event that's designed to get more locally grown food in front of people, in front of guests, we'll definitely support. The Burlington Free Press started a Eat Local Week, which is a great collaboration between themselves and a lot of area restaurants are participating. We're doing a Beer Loves Cheese event coming up as part of the Eat Local Week.
And I've noticed you guys have all sorts of local Vermont beers here. Would you like to maybe discuss that?
The beer we bring in, we're a tap room, so the goal is to showcase really different styles of beer from around the world, and we do carve out a pretty significant portion of that to be filled with Vermont beers, and the goal there is to make a point that some of the best beer in the world is being brewed right here in Vermont.
Oh, it certainly is. There's no doubt about that. Now, would you like to talk maybe about like the beer and cheese event coming up? How you go about preparing something like cheese that goes well with a specific beer?
We did several tastings with a woman named Ruth Miller, the cheese maven, and her specialty is, or one of her specialties is beer and cheese pairing. And we had several meetings where we sat down and tasted dozens of cheeses and dozens of beers and made pairings for those.
Oh, certainly. Now, do you do that with other food other than just cheese as well? Or?
We've definitely done beer events and beer and food events as well. We'll always, anytime we do a beer event, we'll always try to create nightly specials that should be sympathetic, should pair very well with with the beers from that brewery.
Oh, certainly. Well, what are going on to the food? What are some of the dishes that you guys serve here that are probably your most popular?
We're definitely known for our burgers. We have award-winning burgers here at the farmhouse, all using exclusively local meats on a house-baked soft roll that we bake in-house every single day. Jericho Settlers Farm grass-fed beef burger, Misty Knoll Farm turkey burger, Winding Brook Farm pork burger with a fried local egg on top, and some vegetarian burgers as well. We do a lot of house-made charcuterie, and we feature a very extensive list of Vermont artisan cheeses as well.
All right, so would it be safe to say that most of your ingredients are all Vermont?
Of our food ingredients, we're about 3/4 or so of our ingredients come directly from Vermont farms and food producers.
Oh, that certainly has to help the community out as well as get you some of the freshest ingredients possible.
Well, we opened in spring of 2010, and we actually, for another reason, had to do some math and discovered that we're getting close to about $1 million of food product that we've purchased from Vermont farms and food producers in the last about year and a half. So.
Oh, wow. Now, would you like to maybe discuss your menu and what else you serve here other than just burgers?
A lot of comfort entrees, things like chicken and biscuits, meatloaf, macaroni and cheese, all done with culinary flair and using local food products as the basis for those recipes. And then the taproom component, we're a destination beer bar here in Burlington. We've got a little prestige there as well. We have 24 beers on tap and about 120 or so in bottle right now.
Oh, wow. So definitely a large selection of beer.
Very large. Yeah.
So what's the atmosphere like here when it gets real busy?
Well, we have our dining room upstairs, and we also have 2 spaces where the tap room component, the beer bar component of our restaurant really shines, and one is the room we're in now, which is we call it the parlor, and it's a 60, 70 seat bar in our basement actually that we renovated. And then we have our outdoor beer garden that's open seasonally, roughly June through September. Both of those are really good, just kind of kickback hangout spots for the beer crowd.
Is there anything else in particular that you'd like people to know about your restaurant here?
No, it's just a good restaurant. I think it's very casual. People have a good time here. It's always busy, and it's always a good time.
So what really separates the Farmhouse from other local restaurants?
I think I think guests really connect with the commitment that we have to supporting the local food movement. The fact that we do make a very strong effort to purchase really as much food product as we can from family farms here in Vermont. I think that resonates very well with the local community. All right.
And if people wanted to contact you, if they want to come up here for one of their vacations, how would they go about that?
Website, farmhousetg.com. Follow us on Facebook, on Twitter.
Oh, certainly. Well, we'd love to see it. You mind if we go take a look in the kitchen?
Sure, of course. Help yourself.
My name is Philip Clayton. I'm the executive chef of the Farmhouse Tap Grill here in Burlington. So we buy 100% grass-fed beef from local farms. One in particular is Jericho Settlers Farm, which is about 15 minutes from here. And we make burger patties in-house from the ground beef, and then we grill them on our gas-fired grill. And then for the whole dish, we make a challah roll for a burger bun, which is like a rich dough that's enriched with egg yolk. The egg yolks also come from local farms. And what else do we do with it? We top it with Landaff Creamery, Landaff cheddar, which is made in New Hampshire, but it's aged at the cellars of Jasper Hill, which is in Greensboro, Vermont. We pickle some red onions in-house, buy local arugula when it's in season, and then assemble that all together and serve it with either hand-cut fries or some dressed greens. And so I'd say in terms of total sales, our beef burger is our most popular item. It's been really well received in the community here. It's a few times a night people say it was the best burger they ever had. So I think that speaks to not only the quality of the preparation, but really the quality of the ingredients that we choose to buy here. So one of our most popular lunch items is our tarragon chicken salad. And for this dish, we buy whole chickens, also from Jericho Settlers Farm. They're pasture-raised chickens that we then brine in a saltwater solution overnight, so that the salinity of the brine helps to season the meat as well as maintain moisture during the cooking process. So we roast the chickens whole, pull the meat, mix it with some house-made aioli and some creme fraiche and tarragon, and then we just make a salad out of it, out of local greens, some toasted almonds, a cider vinaigrette, and cloth-bound cheddar cheese that comes from, it's made by Cabot, but it's also aged at the cellars at Jasper Hill in Greensboro. Another big part of what we do is serve artisanal cheeses that are produced mostly in Vermont. Some are produced in New Hampshire, but we just do a pretty simple cheese board that we serve on these butcher's boards that are made by the Vermont Butcher's Board and Block Company. They're actually located right here on Church Street. And so we have anywhere from 10 to 13 cheeses usually that we feature. A lot of them are raw milk cheeses. Some are pasteurized, mostly depending on the style of cheese and how long it needs to age to achieve proper ripeness. But we feature cheeses made from goat's milk, cow's milk, sheep's milk, and then also a mixture of those three. I think cheese in general is one of the greatest food products that is produced in Vermont. We have a really, really strong artisanal cheese movement, if you will. I believe there's over 40 cheese producers in Vermont right now. And so as a locally sourced restaurant, we think it's really important to feature these cheeses and not only sell them to guests, but also educate guests on the cheeses and what they mean both to us and as well as to the food world of Vermont. So I told you about our beef burger, but our veggie burger is a patty that we make with some brown rice, some French lentils, some farro, and then assorted local vegetables. The vegetables are typically seasonal because of how we purchase them. But we incorporate kale this time of year, maybe some winter squashes. In the spring, we like to add peas and radishes and other spring vegetables. So we form all that into a patty and then sear it in a cast iron pan so it gets nice and crispy on the outside. We top it with some Grafton 1-year aged cheddar, which is from Grafton, Vermont. And then we buy some kimchi from Laughing Lotus Farm in Barnard, Vermont. Put the kimchi on top of the burgers, and then top that with some house pickled jalapenos, as well as some arugula. And then we serve that with either fries or greens. Food in general is very important to me, especially locally sourced food, and I believe strongly in what we do here because we have and maintain extreme respect for the quality of the product that we buy. And I think I enjoy the product when it comes into the restaurant as well as the finished product that we offer to guests. Other reasons why I really like working here is just because I like to live in Burlington. It's a great town, and there are a lot of great people in Burlington, both to serve as well as to work with. And one of my most favorite parts about working here is the staff. I feel like we have the absolute best staff anywhere in Vermont, and especially in Burlington. It's a great group of people who are very, very dedicated to just creating and serving excellent food and getting along well and having fun while we're doing it.
All right, and we're back here with Jed Davis, and just back from the kitchen, we have 2 burgers here in front of us. Would you like to speak about them a little bit, Jed?
Yeah, we have a Jericho Settlers Farm grass-fed beef burger with doe's leap chev, some pickled peppers, and house basil pesto, served with our hand-cut fries. And we have in the back our farmhouse veggie burger with Cabot cloth-bound cheddar, Laughing Lotus Farm kimchi, pickled jalapenos.
All right, it absolutely all looks delicious. I can't wait to try it, so let's eat.
Thank you.
All right, I'm here with Jenny and Chris at the Bluebird Tavern here in Burlington, Vermont. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for being here.
Oh. And maybe we could start off by talking about the history of the Bluebird Tavern here.
Well, we opened 4th of July weekend, 2009. So we've been about two years, 3 or 4 months.
All right.
It's been wonderful. We've had great support from a lot of local folks, as well as people that like to travel from out of town. It's been really great so far. We're happy.
All right. And you want to talk maybe about the upcoming move to downtown Burlington now?
Sure.
Yep.
Sure, yeah. So this space, although great and wonderful, we've actually done some nice little improvements. We just recognize the value of being downtown right in the mix of it. So we're making some customers happy, some customers a little bit sad they got to drive in, but we're hoping that all in all it ends up really nicely. So we're going right downtown, right in the mix of it, right on St. Paul Street. Yeah, we're just hoping that we'll make people happy downtown just as we've made them happy here.
But what's kind of really special about it is as soon as you walk in, it's completely open. So everybody's neighbors in the new location. Whereas like our location on Riverside, there's some separate rooms, there's a little bit more privacy, whatnot. But the new place is wide open. The kitchen is wide open. You can see everything that folks in the kitchen are doing. There's going to be probably about 20 to 22 bar seats, which on the Riverside location there's 12. So we're really expanding the tavern side and opening up the kitchen a lot more. So it'll be exciting. So there's something to see at every corner of the new location.
Oh, sounds fantastic. I can't
Yeah, we're
wait to see
excited.
it.
We like to think on St. Paul they just finished all this new road construction and put up these beautiful lights right down St. Paul.
Okay.
So we like to say that they set up the red carpet for us for our arrival. So it's a beautiful street.
All right, when's the move gonna happen?
Before the holidays.
Okay.
We're hoping before the Thanksgiving holiday. We're very optimistic.
Certainly. Now you want to talk maybe about the atmosphere here?
Sure. We're a tavern, kind of first and foremost, so we'd like to be a casual, comfortable place where folks can come and eat, where they can settle in with their friends and family, they can feel at home, whether it's a couple of folks and their kids, or it's folks taking somebody out on an interview or whatnot. We're kind of the whole gamut. We try to meet everyone kind of where they're at. But I'd say we're definitely a casual atmosphere where you can really you can kind of any sort of meal you like. We encourage folks to come on and have a snack and a beer at the bar, as well as a multiple course dinner at a table where you're sitting for a couple hours. But definitely, I'd say we're customer first, which I think most restaurants would say, but we're obviously trying to meet you where you're at as far as what you're looking for the evening. But yeah, I guess when you sit down, you decide what the night's going to be like for the rest of it. What the experience is going to be like at the table with you and the server. So
okay. Now you want to talk about the food you prepare here and maybe where you get your ingredients from?
Yeah. When we started, and to this day, we try to be more of a farm-to-table restaurant. And we try to source all of our food from local farms. We're all in very good relations. I mean, farmers come in, brewers come in for dinner with their family all the time, and sometimes they come in with bags of vegetables and then they sit down and eat. It's it's a great relationship that, I mean, in Vermont especially, everybody's neighbor is a farmer, and it's fantastic to be able to be this close to great ingredients and to use them.
Oh, certainly. I'm sure, as you said, them bringing their food in and eating here at the same time, you're supporting the community, and the community's also supporting you. So.
You know where your food comes from.
Exactly. Which is rare. It's hard to find these days somewhere where you know where your food came from.
And you can taste the difference.
All right. You want to talk maybe about some of your most popular dishes here?
Sure. Yeah, I think as it being Tuesday, Tuesday is our Tavern Tuesday night where we offer our burger and our mussels at a special price. I think they're easily two of our more popular dishes. We get our burger from La Platte Farm right down in Charlotte. They grow great cows, I guess, and we make up our burger patties that are kind of a signature dish, I guess, on our menu. I think, to be honest, most of the items on our menu change pretty frequently, with the exception of those two, all kind of geared towards, I guess now we've evolved into kind of like a New England kind of eatery. That's kind of what our chef, Michael Klaus, envisions. He wants to try to find and fit those kind of classic New England flavors into dishes that might have an old world kind of twist to them. He's trying to bring in some of the New England flavor. So I think those two are definitely two of our most popular dishes. We do a lot of seafood. We have a great seafood purveyor that brings great fresh stuff a couple times a week. They're coming up very frequently, so that we don't have anything sitting around. It's great to have nice, fresh things. And I think that's the case with all these farmers too, that we're able to have a close connection with folks that bring us things as they're blooming, as they're in season. And we don't have things sitting around, so it's nice.
And that's important to note too, that because we get things that are in season, that are local, so our menu changes every day. We print up a new menu every day, because you can't have tomatoes, in the middle of, well, some restaurants can, but we, because things are local, it has to be in season, so we're printing up every day. We have wonderful charcuterie, so we cure our own meats, we make our own pâtés. We like to focus on all of the local cheesemakers, depending on, some cheeses are better in the winter and in the summer. We have local oysters. We always try to have 4 different kinds of oysters, and so it's really, our menu is catered to like building your own experience. There's small plates, there's large plates, but we really encourage people to share plates, so sometimes you want to keep it all to yourself, but so we have the idea of small plates. We just fill the table up with all kinds of wonderful things.
Okay. And speaking about local, there's a lot of breweries here in Vermont, obviously.
Yes.
I believe more per capita than any other state right now. You want to talk about maybe your beer selection and alcohol, since you are mainly a tavern as well?
Absolutely. That's Chris. Chris is our beverage manager.
No, we actually have a nice representation of Vermont brewers right now on draft, and we try to keep that going. I mean, we have 11 spots, and so on our draft line, so we try to keep as much of that fluctuating kind of with the season as we do with our food. But yeah, just to name a couple, as you folks are traveling onto the Van Trapp Family Lodge, we carry their beer as often as we can. We have beer from the Hill Farmstead. We have Switchback, which is a local brewery in Burlington. Rock Art, they make beer, they're down in Middlebury. But we get some great folks making some really beautiful, diverse beer. That's the nice thing, is that it's not all, they're not replicas of it themselves. They're producing really, really interesting, unique kind of small batch stuff that is, that somehow it's captured their drinking favor. So now they said, okay, well, I want to make this beer. I want to be able to drink it locally. What can I do to put it out there? And they've done a great job. I mean, we've got some great stuff from, limiting it right here in Vermont. We've got some great brewers, so it's nice.
And to note, we recently have gotten the Alchemist Heady Topper beer. And like I had mentioned before, we try to support as many local people as possible. And unfortunately, with the hurricane that swept through Vermont, they kind of took the Alchemist right out. And fortunately, they were able to can a lot of their beers before the storm had come. So it's the big seller, the big hit thing in Vermont right now is the Alchemist beer. And so we have that here.
Okay. And you maybe want to talk about what really sets you apart from your other competition out here?
Well, I think first and foremost, we're really fortunate to be in a great city to eat. I mean, Burlington's got some great restaurants with a lot of folks focused on, as far as I'm concerned, the right thing. They're putting out classic, traditional, and even contemporary foods in their own way, earnestly, in an honest way, which is great. So I think we're among many great peers. That's the nice thing. What sets us apart? I think we've kind of got a little bit of everything. We have the kind of dining experience where you really can come in for a beer and a snack before a movie, or you can sit down and plan to have a great feast that's maybe even the rehearsal dinner to your wedding, or even just a couple friends sitting for 3 or 4 hours and enjoying any number of different things. And that seems like a very generalized answer, but I think that's kind of what is different, is that we encourage folks to sit. The table's yours. You sit down, it's yours for the night. And if you're going to be there for 4 hours, so be it. We're going to be here along the way the whole time, food is special, and I think that there's a lot of when you focus on how you make it and you think about it as much as we do, then it becomes special. And I don't know. It's nice to be able to actualize that in a place. Yeah,
and we try to be as socially responsible as possible. Mm-hmm. We believe in sustainable eating, like head to tail eating. We, once again, not to reiterate, but try to buy or source most of our products from farmers. We give back to the community just as well. Like on Wednesday nights, we have a community night where we feature a nonprofit organization and we give 10% of our sales to that nonprofit. So we try to give back as much as possible as well.
All right. And if someone were to want to come on up here for a nice vacation and have a nice, great meal up here, how would they go about getting in touch with you?
Well, I would recommend, we have a wonderful website. It's bluebirdvermont.com. You can make reservations right online, but we also like to hear your voice too, so you're more than welcome to give us a call at 802-540-1786.
All right. You want to go on back and let's check out the kitchen?
Absolutely.
My name is Clyde Haggerty. I'm the sous chef at the Bluebird Tavern in Burlington, Vermont. This is our kitchen right here. It's quite nice and open. We're actually moving in a month to a downtown location, so trying to, we're in a transitional period right now. So we got lots of house-made charcuteries and lots of, pickled veg we make and all sorts of deliciousness. So I'm just going to show you real quick. Right here we got some deer rillette. We get this local fallow deer from, comes out of Rutland, Vermont, down south us a little bit. The guy who runs the farm is a doctor, actually. He's a surgeon, so, he's kind of nice. So we got deer rillette right there. We got some country pate I made up last week right here, which is pork pate. The nice part is you guys then get to eat this afterward. So this is a pork pate with it's not so much refined as a lot of the other ones are ground up fine. It's just still got nice big chunks in it, and it's quite nice. This right here is pork rillette, which is it's kind of like pork and then we'll say pork fat mixed up, kind of like a chicken salad it would be like, but it's just it's delicious. Lots of good stuff in there. So this is house-made pickled okra right here. We just like to put some garnish on there, make it a little, little interesting for you guys. We try to make it nice. We really like to focus on local products. Most of our veg here is grown. We also pickle everything in-house. These are pickled red onions right here. Just kind of add a little bit of sharpness to it. And I got some pickled watermelon radish right here. Adds a little bit of nice bitterness. When you get all these, especially with these pates, they become too fatty almost. You need to have either some mustard or some pickled veg on it to kind of just zazz it up a little bit. Got some house-made mustard right here. Stone ground mustard seeds we buy. And then we let them soak in wine and vinegar for a couple weeks, and then they get nice and zazzed up. We just pickled these eggs today, so I don't think they're quite ready. I'm not going to put those on. And we got some beets right here we cooked up. Make a nice little plate for you guys. And out she goes. I'm going to grill off some bread for that and for the mussel dish. We don't make this bread, but it's made locally for us. It's red hen sourdough. It comes from Waitsfield, Vermont. It's quite delicious. All right, now we step over to the saute station here, and we'll make a mussel dish. So we'll get a little oil in the pan, some onions, some pre-roasted garlic. Let that go for a little bit. Check on the bread right here. So I'll just let this go for a little bit, some color come out. Mussels we get in fresh every week. PEI. Salt and pepper them up real nice. We got this This is white wine and verjus mixed together. It's verjus is like wine vinegar. It's not alcoholic. It's quite delicious. Put some lemon in there. Grab my bread right here. We finish off with some butter right before it comes down. You know, seafood and white wine and butter. It's all that good stuff. I think I'm gonna just grab a spoon right here. Do a little taste test. It's good, maybe a little more butter. We also have house pickled tomatoes. We finish with this. And we finish with some greens. That's good to go. So we plate it up real nice like this. Then we finish with a slice of bread. One slice for our mussel dish here. One slice for our charcuterie board. And that's that.
All right, so we're back from the kitchen now. We have all this delicious food right in front of us. You want to kind of recap what we have
I
here?
don't know, I'm drooling. So on the board tonight, we have house mostardo. This is the deer terrine with some cured bacon on the outside. There's capers, carrots, and onions in with the terrine. We have pickled radish here, some pickled beets. We have country pork pate, some pickled onions, pork rillette, and pickled okra on the end. All of this is served with grilled red hen bread. In the bowl, we have one of our really popular items. It's the steamed mussels. They're in a verjus butter sauce with some sweet tomatoes, wilted greens, and pickled onions. And on top, once again, is grilled red hen bread.
All right, it all looks and smells so delicious. I absolutely can't wait, so let's eat.
Let's get some forks.
Well, I'm here today with Megan Fitzpatrick of Lake Champlain Chocolates, and you're the marketing director here?
Marketing specialist, PR.
Okay, and so what's that entail?
Well, in my position, it's really being the spokesperson for the company, including being our presence on social media, our blog and Facebook and Twitter, talking to the media, pitching our stories, trying to get published in national magazines, as well as getting footage on our local TV stations and in our local papers. So really anything that encompasses PR communications for the company.
All right, and so Lake Champlain Chocolates, you want to talk about when this all started?
Sure, it was founded by Jim Lampman. He's still here, he's the president. His two children, Eric Lampman and Ellen Reed, both work here as well. Jim used to own the Ice House restaurant, which was down on the waterfront in Burlington. It's still there. And while he was manager and running the restaurant, he used to give fancy European chocolates to his employees at Christmas time. And one of the pastry chefs said, after a couple years of getting these chocolates, said, these chocolates really aren't that great. And he said, okay, well then you make something better. And so he made these delicious truffles. And soon Jim started sharing them with his favorite customers at Sunday brunch. And before you know it, he was starting to make these all the time and decided to sell the restaurant and focus just on the chocolate business. So we moved to another spot on Pine Street, the street that we're still located on, started making truffles pretty regularly using local Vermont butter and heavy cream from a third-generation dairy farm just down the road. And then also focused on making these 4 really unique chocolates that we call chocolates of Vermont. And they include pure maple syrup, local honey, again, the local butter, heavy cream, and we still make those chocolates today. And so the company just continued to grow. It was initially started as a wholesale business. We wanted to get our chocolates into other stores, and people kept knocking on our door and wanting to buy them direct. So we now have 3 company-owned retail stores. We're sold in over 3,000 stores across the country, including Whole Foods markets. And then we also have online and cataloged for people to buy direct and ship the chocolate. So that's kind of, we've certainly expanded beyond the truffles and the chocolates of Vermont. We make, clusters and bark and all sorts of different novelties like Santa Pops and heart boxes for Valentine's Day and bunnies for Easter. So that's when we continue to grow, continue to get new accounts. Our stores are extremely busy with factory tours that we offer. So that's kind of our company in a nutshell.
All right, so you said you have 3 retail stores currently?
Yep, company-owned retail stores. So there's one here at our office on Pine Street. That's our factory retail store. That's where we give our factory tours. Our factory is also located here. Then we have the store on Church Street, which is the main pedestrian mall in Burlington. We kind of consider that our flagship store. We also make fudge at the Church Street store. We dip caramel apples in the fall. We dip strawberries during Valentine's Day. There's always something happening. We make marshmallows. So when you go into that store, there's always lots of things happening right up front that people can stop and look at. And then we have a store in Waterbury on the way to Stowe as well. And we sell ice cream, homemade ice cream in those 3 stores. That's the only place to get our ice cream, or in our 3 stores.
Wow, that sounds pretty delicious,
Yes.
I must say.
It is.
So when did you move to this location here?
We moved here in the mid to late 90s. So we sort of keep expanding and adding on to this building, or sort of reconfiguring this building to fit in new offices and new spaces that we need, whether it's for the factory or the administrative offices or for the store. So, but the company has always been on Pine Street, so we're pretty committed to being in this corridor of Burlington, and people know us on this street.
Oh, certainly, and you're, right around the corner from the waterfront and everything.
Yep.
So it's a great location. Now, you want to talk about maybe where you get your ingredients for everything?
Sure. So we really focus on using as many local ingredients as we possibly can. So since the company started, we've been using the same maple syrup maker. He lives right down the road from the owner. We still get all our maple syrup from him. The honey we get is from a variety of beekeepers around the state. There's a lot of local beekeepers, so there's a few we get most of the honey from, but there aren't huge honey producers here, so we usually get them from a variety of beekeepers. We get our heavy cream from Monument Farms, which is a 3rd-generation dairy farm in Weybridge, Vermont, which is just outside of Middlebury. It's about 40 minutes from here. And then we get our butter from Vermont Butter and Cheese Creamery, which is in Websterville. It's in the Northeast Kingdom. They're very well known for their butters and cheeses, and they make some amazing butter. So we get our butter from them. So those are the local ingredients that we use. For the almonds and raisins and other inclusions that are in our chocolates, we do source from all over the country. We get macadamia nuts from Hawaii. We get Valencia oranges from Florida when we do our chocolate-covered orange peels. But we always get the finest and best ingredients that we possibly can.
Oh, certainly. You can taste it in the chocolate as well. Now, is there anything else you would like to maybe tell everybody about the chocolate company?
Well, we are. Everything's made very fresh here. We aren't making Easter candy right now. We're making chocolate for Halloween, Thanksgiving and Christmas. We really haven't even started the Christmas stuff yet. It's really Halloween and Thanksgiving. We make chocolate turkeys at Thanksgiving. So you may not think of Thanksgiving as a chocolate holiday, but those are actually pretty popular. But everything is all natural. There's absolutely no preservatives or artificial flavors in any of our chocolates. And that's the way it's always been. It's something we really pride ourselves on. Our chocolates are also kosher certified. So we do make a small selection of Hanukkah chocolates for that holiday. And I guess that's about it.
All right. Well, I know we're coming up on Halloween, which is probably a busy time for all chocolate makers.
Yeah.
What would you say is the busiest time here?
Christmas, Valentine's Day, and Easter are our top three. They're all really pretty much tied for first place. I mean, Valentine's Day and Easter are two very much chocolate-focused holidays. So everyone's got to have that chocolate bunny in their basket, and everyone wants chocolate on Valentine's Day in a heart-shaped box or chocolate hearts or something. So those two we do really well. And I think holidays, we have a pretty big corporate giving program. So a lot of companies will give chocolates as a corporate gift. So that beefs up our holiday sales, as well as it's such a long giving period, the Christmas holiday. So I think that's why Valentine's is pretty short period of time when people are shopping for that, but it's so chocolate focused that it's as high of sales as Christmas holiday time. So, but those three for sure are the top holidays. We get all of the majority of our chocolate from Berry Callebaut. They're a Belgian chocolate maker. So we're considered a third tier chocolate maker. So there's first tier where you're getting beans straight from the source. Second tier is you're making those beans. That's what Berry Callebaut is. And then we're third tier. We're buying the chocolate from Berry Callebaut. So it's in nib form, which sort of looks like a small chocolate chip. And then from there, we temper the chocolate, which means we melt it, and we bring it up in a high temperature and then bring it down. It's this very specific process to get the chocolate to be tempered just right. And when you'll see, when we go back in the factory, we have two big bins of dark chocolate and milk chocolate that are constantly being tempered that people will then grab to make whatever confection they're making. So that's another pretty big distinction. We're not a bean to bar company, which is what people may not quite understand where chocolate comes from, but we're really a chocolate confectioner. We take that chocolate and we create confections from it, whether it's a truffle or a chocolates of Vermont, maple crunch, or it's a cluster or orange peel. So it's really taking that chocolate, tempering it the way we temper it, because you can do that incorrectly and not get the quality that you want, and then the ingredients that you put into it.
So would you like to maybe talk about your most popular types of chocolate that you make here? Sure.
Truffles are definitely one of our most popular chocolates. We make, I think, 12 to 13 different flavors, and they come in a variety of sizes of gift boxes. They're very popular as gifts. The truffles are sort of one of our signature products. Sort of at the other end of the spectrum, our bars, our just standard, what we call our signature bars, are also one of our most popular products. Those are more for self-consumption. People are buying them for themselves. And again, we have a variety of, our top bars are 54% dark chocolate bar. The next one is milk chocolate. Dark chocolate with almonds is our third most popular bar. And then we have peppermint crunch, and we have caramel, and a variety of bars within that line. Another signature product of ours is called the 5-Star bar. They're sort of a slightly different shape. They're quite chunky and have pretty large inclusions in them. Very much handcrafted, as opposed to our signature bars, which are done on a molding line, or not a lot of hand involved. But with our 5-Star bars, it's very much a handcrafted item, very unique. And we have 5 different flavors of those bars, the caramel being the most popular. I mentioned earlier the chocolates in Vermont, which have 4 different flavors. There's 3 dark and 1 milk. There's a dark maple crunch, which is essentially a butter crunch, but using maple syrup as the sweetener. There's a honey caramel, which is just the way it sounds. It's a caramel using our local honey. There's an evergreen mint. dark evergreen mint. And then there is what we call the Green Mountain. It's shaped sort of like a mountain. It's milk chocolate with dried currants and nuts inside. So those are some of our more signature products. We also have a lot of what we call our more handcrafted items, which are our clusters, caramel, cashew caramel cluster, dark almond clusters, macadamia nut clusters. We have dark chocolate covered orange peels. We have bark. Bark is another popular sort of classic chocolate treat that people like. And again, we have dark almond, pecan, milk chocolate pecan. We also sell hot chocolate in a variety of flavors, something we expanded probably over 5 years ago now, but pretty popular. There are folks that you mix with milk. So it's sort of the hot chocolate that people maybe grew up having. It's not the instant Swiss Miss with water. It's pretty rich and delicious. And the other piece are these more novelty items, whether it's a chocolate Santa and chocolate bunnies, and we have a lot of really unique molds and custom design molds. So people, particularly in our stores, will come in looking for the, bunny driving a tractor or those types of things that are a little bit more fun and unique to us.
Oh, certainly. It definitely sets you apart from your competition.
Yes, absolutely.
What's the best way for people to get in touch with you?
We're online, www.lakechamplainchocolates.com. And we have an 800 number, which is 800-465-5909. Like I said, we're in stores across the country. Whole Food markets, if you're near Whole Foods, they carry pretty much every single store of Whole Foods carries our chocolate. We're in a lot of specialty stores, so all natural markets, organic markets, that type of thing. So that's another place you can find us. And if you give us a call, we have a catalog. We're happy to mail you out a catalog as well.
Thank you very much, and I think we'll go ahead and take a look and see how you do what you do here.
Okay, terrific.
My name is John Weishauer, and I'm the production manager here at Lake Champlain Chocolates. We're going to go do a little behind-the-scenes tour. You get to see things close up, so let's go on in. So the factory is divided into two sections. The other side of the wall is most of our activity today. Over here it's quieter, that there is an enrober. Some days this will be busy with 5 or 6 people running product. But we'll walk around to get to the other side to see where more stuff's happening today. So here's the factory proper. It's a small factory, as you can see, but we do get a lot of chocolate done. We do about 1 million pounds of chocolate per year out of this factory. Everything from, novelties where we'll only make 50 or 60 just for our store, to items where we'll make 1,000 pounds for ourselves or a customer, and 10,000 bars. I mean, it depends on what the schedule is for that day, but we certainly get a lot of product out of here. So why don't we walk over and take a look at some of the stuff we're doing today. This area right here is the kitchen. We cook all of our own centers. We don't buy anything. Everything's made from scratch. We use Vermont products whenever we can. Corn syrup, the butter is being made right over here is from Vermont, as well as the cream. We're cooking caramels right behind me. They're being made into our 5-star caramel bars on this machine right over here. Over on this side, we're making our famous truffles. The truffles is actually the product that got this company started, the American truffle. A dream that Jim Lampman had to make, Belgian-style chocolates for Vermont and for America. It's a really handmade process, as you can see. I got 2 people working on it, and they'll work all day, and they'll probably get about 10,000 truffles made today. A truffle is, the first step is making the ganache. A ganache is a mixture of chocolate, cream, butter, and whatever flavors that are going into that particular truffle. Our products here are all natural. So in this case, we don't use any artificial flavors. All of our flavors come from either natural products like maple syrup or champagne, or actual oranges that are cooked down. So we don't use any artificial flavors. But that mix will get mixed together in a bowl, and then we deposit them into little round balls. We do use a machine to help us do that depositing, but it's a very hands-on process because the ganache needs to be the exact right consistency. So one of my workers right now is going through that process where she has to constantly whip the ganache to keep it at the right consistency in order to form the ball. Once those ganache balls are formed, they actually need to sit overnight to harden up and create a little bit of a shell. And then they get enrobed in chocolate. Now basically enrobing means covered in chocolate. We have machines that create little chocolate waterfalls that we run stuff through. I can show you that as we walk around. And as you can see, it creates a little waterfall of chocolate, and that's how we enrobe things. So we'll cover truffles, bars, pretzels, cookies, crackers, whatever we need to, whatever people want covered in chocolate, we can cover. So they'll go down through the chocolate enrobing, and then this is a cooling tunnel that helps cool them, and they get picked off the other end. Now over on this side, on the other side of the kitchen area, is where we do a lot of our novelty making. Right now there's some people decorating some Santa molds. We're getting ready for Christmas already. We've got so many Santas to make that we've got to start in the fall. Every single mold is hand painted, whatever decoration is. This particular one, they paint the scarf and the eyes and the head. We use a bunch of different techniques, paint brushes, bottles, fingers, whatever it takes to get the novelty to look as special as we can. We're also making some bars over here. Again, a lot of hands-on processes being done. The chocolate is touched many times with loving hands. So. Right behind me, you see 4 vats of chocolate. This is the chocolate that the novelty area as well as the kitchen area is going to use today. We have dark chocolate, white chocolate, milk chocolate, and Janduja chocolate, which is a hazelnut chocolate. So these will be batched and ready in the morning for our workers, and then they'll come and help themselves when they need it. These particular bars are being hand filled right here. The molds are actually being, poured and filled by hand. The process here is the molds will get filled, they get put on racks. The racks go into the cold room. Now, chocolate itself will set up at room temperature. We use a cold room, which is about 40 degrees, just to help speed up the process so we can get more production done. Here's the staff that was making this 4-ounce snowmen. Show you their handiwork so far today. This is a pretty labor-intensive product. A lot of details going into the decoration. But we figure if we're going to make novelties, we might as well make them better than anybody else. Okay, on this side of the factory, it's a little more automated. I like to look at it like that side of the factory is the old school chocolate making factory. Over here, we're a little more automated. Still not narrowly to the degree of larger candy companies, but we do have it's a molding line. It's a piece of machinery that automatically fills molds with chocolate. It's being fed with this bank of tanks right here. At any given time, I've got 2 tanks full of 2,000 pounds of chocolate each of milk and dark. So we could go through 8,000 pounds of chocolate in a day if we needed to. We're making milk chocolate coins today, and they're coming out at about 8 molds per minute. So we're making, a few hundred chocolates every minute here. They go down this belt, and we have a wrapping machine on the end that's wrapping them in colored foil. We do all kinds of different colors. We do different flavors, milk chocolate, dark chocolate, we do mint. The wrapping machine they're using over there is for the coins. It's a high-speed wrapper. It can wrap them about 300 pieces per minute. We also have a few different bar wrappers, because we do different kinds of bars. If you look at them, they're older wrappers. A lot of the candy companies have been using chocolate wrappers forever, and using some of these old style equipment has helped us do the same thing. This contraption right here is called a spinner, and it is used to make hollow chocolates. So what you do is you take a solid mold that has no openings, You fill 1/2 with chocolate, and when you fill it, you put it on the spinner. And the force of gravity and centrifugal force keeps the chocolate to the outside of the mold, and that's how you make a hollow chocolate. The molding line has the capacity of doing 8,000 pounds in a day. Out here, it depends on what they're doing. A novelty like this, where there's so much decoration, they're only going to get maybe 500 done today. Truffles will get around 10,000 in a day. The bars that are being made by hand will probably get 4,000 done today. So it really matters what we're making and what the process is. Some things are very labor intensive.